Yo, peace to everybody home and abroad, man. I started off as a Hebrew Israelite, you know, being taught the scriptures in the Bible and what it means to be a child of God. I started off there, did that for 3 years, 4 years, where I studied with a church. You know, there was little things that caught my eye to, it becoming another religion or it being another religion. And, after that I started to, dive into the Quran, Rastafarianism, Hinduism, everything. And I came to the realization that all these philosophies and religious books are just books to connect your spiritual man and grow him to the point where he can see other dimensional beings or other dimensions other than the physical plane that we reside in at the particular moment. It seems that it's more or less a planetary thing than a civilization thing. And what I mean by civilization thing is everybody on the earth looks at it as I'm a different species than you, even though we're both human, right? Instead of looking at it as we're all humans and we all live in the same house, and we should look at this as a family thing. That is the crux of the whole thing. Now, when it comes to being a Hebrew Israelite, the realization of it is the original creator force, which is the father of everybody, the creator force, which is talked about in Star Wars, the Force, which can be either good or evil. If you watch Star Wars, it can be the Sith, or it can be, the Jedis. So this is how it is in real life, right? Everything comes from this force, and this force lives vicariously through us. I don't want to say vicariously, but he lives through us. He experiences life through us. And when we, as human beings, which are the first of our kind, because there's a number of other beings in the galaxy that are there and have experienced this level of consciousness, of unawareness, of uncontrollable urge of war and fighting. And some draw more to the evil side of things, and some draw more to the good. And when you look at how all of this is actually portrayed in the grand scheme of things, that's when you start to realize that us being Hebrew Israelites is just a reemergence of the original man, right? Even though Israel was the youngest, and they were the last nation to be born out of all the nations and all of the time that we've been on the earth, but we're the last original DNA of man. All the other men on the earth has had their DNA tampered with other beings. This is part of the conundrum that the world is in. This is part of the reason why most of the world doesn't understand what's really happening, because when they took our culture and our life from us, they took an essence of genuineness from us. We're not criminals. We're not lazy. We're not all these derogatory things that they make us out to be. What we are is efficient. Efficient. Meaning everything that is here on earth is here for us. The food, the animals, the trees. It's an ecosystem where we feed off of it and they feed off of us. But then there was the evil side, the Sith side, the parasitic side that came and adapted unto us and changed how we perceive the galaxy and the world, and we forget who God was or is and how he actually operates. See, when you're reading Genesis, people think that they're reading a cohesive story. No. You're reading a story, yes, but it's not a cohesive story. See, they use multiple gods and call them one. They use blessing and curses instead of saying you'll be given over to the evil god because you reluctantly wanting to be separated from the evil gods. That's the curse. You willingly did that. You willingly gave yourself over to evil entities, when you could have stayed on the same path with Christ and the Father and always been in right standing with God. But instead of that, you decided to put yourself in shackles. We don't perceive these things. We don't comprehend these things. We don't see them for what they are. We think that the way things that is told in the Bible is the way that it means it is. But the only way that you can get true understanding is going into these other cultures, quote unquote, religions, and get the full grasp of the story. You know, in the Hindu Bibles or books that they have flying saucers, they have aliens, they have motherships, they have battles of aliens fighting one another, us interacting with these aliens. They have all this stuff. They have all of it. In the Quran, it talks about the oneness, the singularity of the cosmos that we reside in. Even though some are evil and some are good. But we can only see what we know. Our mind only sees what we know. So if somebody tells you that God loves you and he wants you to be, a great person, and he just wants you to come to church on Sunday, and then that's your perception of God, and you look at, and your perception of God is seen through the pineal gland, through your eyes into the world. So now when you start to see things that contradict the God that you see, it confuses you. You say, well, Why are there hookers? Why is there drugs? Why is there murdering? Why is there pedophiles? Why is there pornos? Why is there so much evil? And God tells us to be good, but there's so much wicked on the earth. You can't fathom it. You can't grasp it. You can't understand the sheer confusion or the discombobulation of the two. And you try. You say, you know what? This religion is false. Boom. Let me go see something else. So you start to, research Rastafarianism, the Quran, the Zoroastrianism, Hinduism. Then you just gravitate to what makes you feel good. That's what most of us do. Yoga makes me feel good. Being a vegan makes me feel good. Feminism makes me feel good. Being gay makes me feel good. Because now you feel, okay, the original religion that I was looking through makes no sense. So whatever I feel is what makes me who I am. But that's further from the truth. That's further from the truth than what's actually happening. The world, the cosmos, the universes, the galaxies are all between good and evil. Right? Question. Is it good that a sun blows up? Is it bad that a sun blows up? Is it good that a meteor hits Earth? Is it bad that a meteor hits Earth? So why is it good or bad that you caught cancer? You got cancer or HIV or diabetes or whatever other ailment that you may receive. Why is it bad? And why is it good? It's neither. These things are direct result of your mental and your physical health in the physical plane. This is what this stuff comes from. It's a direct result of your mental and your physical health on this plane. The two are together. Where you're actually you're three parts. You're the physical, your body, your heart, your organs, your skin. Boom, that's you. Which also has bearing on the mind. Then you are your mind. The thought processes of what you have to do from day to day. The regulator of you eating or being physically fit or your interaction with others. Then there's your spiritual. The spiritual is the desire to connect to that which birthed you from outside of your physical frame or realm. Until you can perceive and actually hear your spiritual self, your mental and your physical body can only react to that which it only knows. I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. So when you're reading a book, okay, when you're reading it and you're saying the person is in the house, you're reading it, but your spiritual man is listening to what your mental is reading to the physical, to your spiritual plane, your mental brain is reading that which to your spiritual self. Now, when you vocalize words from a book, when you're saying it out loud and you're able to hear it, you are synchronizing the physical, the mental, and the spiritual together. You're synchronizing them together. That's why reading is so fundamental. That's why a lot of Black and Hispanic people that lack reading comprehension skills and reading skills and that don't read are so out of whack with the day-to-day situations that's going on in the world. They can see it. The spiritual world can perceive it and tell them what's going on. But because they don't know how to synchronize their physical, mental with the spiritual, they can't vocalize it. So you can see it, you mentally see it, you physically feel it, right? But you can't vocalize it because you haven't matured your spiritual self through your synchronization with your body. This is why you can't expound on the things that you are seeing. This is where arguments come from. This is where misunderstandings come from. This is where strife and pain comes from, because you're not linked to the cosmos. Okay, now your spiritual self is linked to that which is the one. And the one is the cosmos, the galaxy that we all reside in. Now you can be either good or evil depending on your genetic or your disposition of what you want to be. You could be evil in this cosmos. I mean, you're not going to get what you want out of it. You're not going to get what you want. You can only get what you set yourself up for when you're evil. But if you're good, you can manifest anything because it's already here. It's already there. The spiritual world is just it's like a warehouse full of stuff that you can just grab. Boom, boom, boom. You can just grab it. And it's not like you can just magically appear a chair out of thin air. We're going to get to that level, right? Where Christ was doing that. But first you have to be able to be aware of that level. You have to be aware of the spiritual plane first before you're able to physically take things out of it and manifest it in the physical. Because the physical is an illusion and the spiritual is actually where you're at. So once we move to the next level, you take your mental with you and your spiritual and they combine. But this physical shell that you're within decays and goes back to the earth. Someone else can use it. When I say someone else, it's because your body goes into the ground, the tree uses it as nutrients, the worms eat your body, bugs, other bugs eat other bugs, animals eat bugs, other animals eat other animals, fruits, and you become part of the ecosystem once again, and somebody else can use your body. This is what it is. But we fail to realize that we live in this house together. We fail to realize that it all works together. It all works as one. It all means the same thing. No religion is to be negated. Nobody stole anything from anybody. That's you. Somebody comes to you and say, "Oh, the 10 Commandments were stole from the 42 Mayat." Shut the f up, man. What are you talking about? Do you know about the Sumerian cultures? Do you know about the Zoroastrianism, where they leave a fire that's lit, which Israel was doing before Zoroastrianism? So now you're saying Zoroastrianism stole from Israel. Please, we all are from the same place. It's very simple. It's very simple. Once you pay attention and you say, you know what? This person is right. And if you got to the end of this video and you're a Hebrew Israelite, listen to this real quick, right? In Deuteronomy, it says, if you do these things that God says before you, you'll be good, right? He will be your king and you will be his people, right? But if you don't, these curses shall fall upon you. Then when you go into Isaiah, you see what those curses are really, what those curses are. It's another God that does not like you. He doesn't like you. It's amazing to me that people will say, oh, God is real, Jesus is real, and then in the same breath say the devil isn't real. And when I say devil, I'm not saying some magical red being that walks around with a tail with a pitchfork. I'm talking about an adversary to the good, which is evil. And he's neither right or wrong for the things that he does, because he's part of it. It's an ecosystem. It's an ecosystem. The good wants the good and the bad wants the bad. Everybody wants somebody on their side. And when you're able to perceive that, and you're able to genuinely observe it and make the decision for yourself to be what you want to be, then nobody can control you anymore. Nobody can tell you what this is about. They can only tell you from their standpoint of what they know, of what they've learned, but they can never control you again. They can only tell you what they think or what they know to be true. And you just pick and choose from that and whatever else you know to know if it's false or true or false. This is what we're left with. You can sit and listen to General Yohana, Dr. Umar Johnson, Blue or Red Pill, David Icke, David Wilcock, George Norrie, Clyde Lewis. You can listen to all these things. But if you choose to only listen to one of them as gospel or true or right and negate everything else, you do yourself a disservice. You're not fully getting the full totality of the story no longer. You're only getting bits and pieces of it. And that's what's the hindrance to us that are on this earth. So if you really want true understanding, don't say, I'm an Israelite and God only deals with me and gave only, well, not me, but only gave Israel the truth and no one else. No, you say God gave everybody the truth, and he's dealing with the whole entire world. That's the key. That's the key. And the only thing about Israel is he gave us not only the world, what the hell?